Spoiler alert for Barbie. Greta Gerwig's Barbie was a surprisingly intellectual movie that I really had to think about. So, some cons. This movie was a real hate message towards men. For example, instead of promoting female empowerment against men, they basically made men look and act stupid. And even when they weren't stupid, they were just really antagonistic. The main purpose of the CEO of Mattel was just to make men look more stupid. Also, the main conflict was resolved in the first 20 minutes of the movie. The first place she went to was where she found her human. I would have liked it to be like a more longer journey, and like a fish out of water story. Now for some pros. I liked how the Warner Brothers logo at the beginning was pink. It was a good segue into the world of Barbie. The exposition of Helen Mirren was pretty cool. The funniest part of the movie, I think, was when she was like, "Nip to the filmmakers. Margot Robbie is not the person you want to cast to make this point." When she was talking about how she looked ugly. You could see early on that not everything was real. The pool, the fridge, the shower, the milk, the car, all of these things eventually ended up making Barbie question reality. The adult humor in this movie was unexpected. Really, I thought it was marketed as a kids' movie, but the beach off lines were pretty funny. The bits about the genitals were funny, and even the Zack Snyder fan joke. Really enough enjoyment, but not too much to make it a rated R movie. When Barbie's feet switched to flat, the camera shaked ever so slightly, which was a real cool editing technique, in my opinion. When Barbie told the old lady that was next door that she was beautiful, this was a really impactful moment in the movie for me. This is the point where she realized that death eventually happens, and then you should accept it, not fear it. I love the humor at Mattel. All of the bosses were either standing or sitting up in their chairs, and Eric, the secretary, was kneeling, basically making him as not important. The soundtrack was amazing. This was the really underrated thing about this movie. I think Push by Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling solo, about Ken, I'm Just Ken, Billie Eilish, Lizzo, Dua Lipa, etc., etc. I also liked how they ended Barbie and Ken's characters. They were no longer codependent, and instead their own people with their own ideas. Finally, I wanted to talk about the acting. This was the best part of the movie, in my opinion. Normal movies have good acting, great movies have great acting. But the fish out of water storyline really helps amplify that. The surprises of Dua Lipa and John Cena as mermaids were unexpected, but really cool to see. Michael Cera has always been funny in his own awkward way, and I think he made this movie 10 times better. Will Ferrell had the hardest yet easiest task, being an idiot CEO of a billion-dollar corporation, and he nailed it. I laughed out loud at every scene that he was in. Some people say that you could have cast any blonde actress as Barbie, but this movie would have been a whole different story if Amy Schumer was Barbie. That being said, Margot Robbie was great at the humor, as well as the dramatic parts, especially near the end. Even though even though Margot Robbie was the main lead, Ryan Gosling was the star. Every review that I read beforehand said that Ryan Gosling totally brought the Ken energy, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? But now I know. Just like Margot Robbie, this movie would have been a totally different story if Ryan Gosling was not Ken. As for the grade, I'm going to give it an 86. I think this was a really good movie that exceeded my expectations for it. But that being said, it's still not as good as some of the other ones on the list. Next movie I'm going to be reviewing, well, you could probably guess, but it's going to be a complete opposite of this movie.